Today's video is brought to you by Squarespace, my go-to for building a website and online shop. Hello dear friends, today's oil painting time-lapse features my latest piece titled Celeste. Real quick before I begin, if you'd like to see a 60-minute tutorial of this video with a color mixing demo, along with hundreds of hours of exclusive content and monthly art rewards, feel free to check out my Patreon at patreon.com/happydartist. Lately, I've been really branching out from my usual wood panel or hard panel or gesso board and trying out canvas instead. I usually stay away from canvas because I dislike the rough woven texture and also the weird absorbency rate of the surface. But lately I discovered that if you apply one extra generous layer of gesso on top of the store-bought canvas panels, even if they're primed already, it can drastically improve the surface texture and absorbency rate. Actually, most pre-primed store-bought painting surfaces such as canvas, oil paper, hard panel, wood panel, etc. could all benefit from one extra layer of gesso after you bring it home, with the exception of gesso board from the Ampersand brand, which is perfect and ready to go as is, and it's my absolute favorite painting surface, but it can get quite pricey, so I don't use it for every single piece. I originally intended for this painting to be a quick study in working with different glowing lighting conditions and also practicing working with lighter pastel colors. But as usual, I ended up going ham on the details and losing myself in my perfectionist tendencies. So a piece that was supposed to take me one day ended up taking 3 times as long. But I'm glad I didn't rush through it because I learned so much in the process, especially when it comes to color mixing. For example, let's take a look at the intense pink on her cheeks. To achieve that level of saturation, the old me would have bought the most saturated neon pink oil paint I could find, which is Quinacridone Opera from Holbein. But the new me realizes that I don't need to literally have the most saturated oil paint straight out of the tube because I can create the illusion of a bright neon pink by surrounding it with other neutral colors that complement the pink and allow it to really stand out. Since the face was filled with mostly desaturated bluish and burgundy tones, I was able to make a standout bright pink by just mixing some alizarin crimson with titanium white and a dash of nickel yellow. The pink didn't look as bright as perhaps Quinacridone Opera would have straight out of the tube, but because I placed my pink next to colors that had opposing properties, my pink really stood out and seemed even more neon than it did on the palette. Basically, TLDR, what's important is not how many colors you can buy straight out of the tube, but rather gaining experience and knowledge of color mixing and placing colors in a way that can harmonize and complement and bring out the best in each other. A few colors can go a long way if we know how to properly mix and arrange them. The name Celeste is of course inspired by my deep love of space-themed aesthetics. Ever since I first started oil painting, I've loved nebulas, galaxies, stars, etc. And this piece is a way for me to revisit old familiar territory equipped with the new knowledge that I picked up in art school. Much like my other video this month, in this piece I put more energy towards carefully designing and rendering a more challenging lighting setup. Instead of the usual standard ambient light or direct straight-on light source from above, I'm trying out different directions of light sources to see if they can help make the piece more visually and narratively compelling. I really enjoyed the warm yellowish pink light illuminating her from behind, which not only balances out the color temperature relationship between the other cooler tones of the environment, but it also makes her truly feel and look like a celestial goddess. As I was bringing her more and more to life, I noticed that her hair was beginning to transform from familiar human hair strands into these almost alien-looking space mycelium. Or perhaps they are forming a portal into another dimension of which she is the guardian. The possibilities are endless for our hypnotic space goddess. And now that I've had a taste of how compelling these different cinematic lighting setups can be, I kind of want to repaint more of my older pieces with new lighting environments. What do you guys think? Should I start repainting my old pieces like Taylor Swift is re-recording her old albums? Let me know in the comments which old piece of mine you'd like to see me repaint first. And with that, we are ready to wrap up today's video. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you want to adopt Celeste, both the original painting and fine art prints are available in my shop at happyd-artist.com. And of course, you guessed it, my eternal never-ending sale is still going on in my shop, so if you'd like 20% off your order of prints and originals, just enter the code HOLIDAY at happyd-artist.com. And if you're interested in learning more about how to paint and draw, I have lots of art educational content on my Patreon page, including exclusive video tutorials, step-by-step photo tutorials, live streams, podcasts, and even surprise art gift boxes, all available at patreon.com/happydartist. I'd love to have you join my Patreon family. A big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video and supporting the art community. Squarespace is the best platform to create a professional website and online shop. Their beautifully designed templates are easy to use for beginners and look great on both desktop and mobile. I've sold my art through Squarespace for almost 10 years, and I can attest to the quality of their online commerce features, whether you want to sell digital or physical items. They also provide useful analytics that help you make the most of your online business. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/happydartist to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Also, if you want to check out more artworks, works in progress, and just random daily artist adventures, feel free to check out my Instagram, and you can follow me at the handle @happydartist.